Now today I move further with the matter of reason. How is God revealed, and how does God reveal himself to mankind? God has obviously revealed himself through intuition. There are people on earth that have never been given a clear-cut presentation of the gospel, and yet they know that there is a God. They know there is a God that they are responsible to. Secondly is the matter of tradition. And Paul told the believers at the church at Thessalonica, in 2 Thessalonians 2 and verse number 15, that they were to hold the traditions. They were to hold the traditions. In this globalistic, satanic, wicked world in which you and I live now, there is a definite fight and argument that is being made against tradition. All of our traditions are being broken down. Our celebration of Christmas and Easter, all of these traditions that you and I hold are being broken down. And the traditions of male and female, and of marriage between a man and a woman. For this cause shall a man leave his father and mother, and cleave to his wife, and they shall be one flesh. All the traditions are being attacked and broken down, right down to the language and the traditional use of the language and the traditional use of the words in our vocabulary. Everything is on the chopping block. The reason for that is, if tradition can be destroyed, then you can present a new tradition, so-called, a new idea, a new philosophy. I don't want to re-preach what I dealt with on Friday. Today I want to move a step further in the matter of reason. How is it that God has revealed himself to mankind? And God has revealed himself through the capacity of reason. Whenever we use this term reason, reason is the highest capacity in man to attain the knowledge of God. Now on the program tomorrow, I'm going to deal with the matter of revelation and the fact that God has revealed himself in his word. And there's no doubt about that. But there are men that have never read the Bible that know there is a God. There are societies that have not had the opportunity to read the Bible like you and I have, but they still know there is a God, and they know that there is a God to whom they are personally responsible. That's what I'm dealing with, the matter of reason. Whenever we talk about reason, we're talking about the sanity of man. It is sanity in man that makes it possible for a man to pursue a logical deduction, to pursue a logical outcome. Insanity leads to people being illogical. Now, when I look around in society today, I see a lot of illogical people and a lot of illogical thinking. Illogical thinking, insanity. If somebody is illogical, they are probably insane. The idea that a man can become a woman and a woman can become a man, that is insanity. That a man feels like he can be bound in holy matrimony, which is a destruction of the word maternity, maternal instincts, matrimony, maternity. Two men cannot have maternity. It takes a man and a woman to have maternity, to produce an offspring. The idea that two women can be bound in holy matrimony, or two men can be bound in holy matrimony, is illogical. It is insanity, and the people involved in that are insane. Romans 1, God has turned them over to a reprobate mind. Whenever we talk about the matter of reason, we are talking about man's capacity to exercise the faculty of reason. Now, it is the faculty of reason that causes a man or a woman to be able to deduce certain inferences that follow along a reasonable line. Whenever people enter into a discourse, when they talk, there's a certain amount of reason that must be exercised to carry on a reasonable conversation. We say sometimes that that man or woman is endued with reason, and then there are other times when we say that that person is entirely unreasonable. That person is totally unreasonable. The matter of reason is rooted in the fact that God is reasonable. God is very understandable and very predictable. God is a God of order. He is a God of logic. He is a God not of confusion, but of order. Chaos is not the handiwork of God. Order is the handiwork of God. Paul the Apostle declared clearly that God is not the author of confusion. When I look at society and I see much confusion today, again, we're living in an age predicted by the Bible when evil is called good and good is called evil. What I'm saying to you on the Bright Spot Hour today is classified by some in society as being hate speech. Ben Carper is so hateful. He is filled with hate speech. But whenever I look at the order that God has created and I see that about 50% of the babies born are female and about 50% of the babies born are male, and if you leave society alone about 17 or 18 years old, the male part of the society will start pursuing the female part of society, and they say for every man there's a woman, and for every woman there's a man, and they begin to pair off and get married, and first thing you know, we have a new generation coming along, and that has happened over and over and over and over. God has fixed that. That is a reasonable standard that God has ordered in society. God made them male and female. And you and I have seen the order of society and humanity where a man shall leave his father and mother and cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. Children, obey your parents in the Lord. Husbands, love your wives. Wives, obey your reverence your husbands. Children, obey your parents, right down the line. That is reason. In fact, it is Almighty God that said in the book of Isaiah, "Come now, let us reason together, saith the Lord." Come now, let us reason together, saith the Lord. Now, I recognize that there's some knuckleheads, and they say, well, now, I don't believe in all that reason stuff, bless God. I believe in this and I believe in that. And Ben Carper's got a head knowledge and not a heart knowledge. And they're just knuckleheads. They're just knuckleheads. It is Jehovah God that called to the nation of Israel and said, come now, let us reason together. You see, the intrinsic value of reason, the reason that this aspect of reason is so valid and valuable is because reason is one of the characteristics that belongs to Almighty God. Just like love is a characteristic that belongs to Almighty God, so is the area of reason. Come now, let us reason together, saith the Lord. So an individual can be said to be reasonable when their comments, their conclusions, their outlook are agreeable to that which is reasonable. We look at society today, we see the sun rises in the east and sets in the west, and it does it not only day after day, but decade and century after century, and millennia after millennia, the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. It'd be ridiculous for a man to come along and say the sun rises in the west and sets in the east, and everybody that says it rises in the east and sets in the west are fools. No, no, no. Everybody, by observation, that sees that the sun always rises in the east and it always sets in the west, that is reason. And a man or a woman that say that is reasonable. When a man would say God created them male and female, that is reasonable. That's the only way. You either have XY or XX chromosomes, and that's the only sets of chromosomes in the human family are those two. You either male or female. And my position politically is all the XX chromosomes go to their locker room and all the XY chromosomes go to their locker room. That is reason. God has given in creation the cause. He has established these principles. He has established the laws of physics. And when a man or woman understands what God has done and what God has created, and he aligns himself with what God has created, it is then and then only that that man or woman can be said to be reasonable. Reasonable. If the law of love is not the law of all rational beings, then there can be no principle of ethics. There can be no ethical teaching. The principles of reason are everywhere, and they are always the same. They are always the same. Hence, we are in a spiritual conflict in society today with an attempt to present and to promote unreasonable things in the name of reason. They call good evil and evil good. They say up is down, down is up, light is darkness, darkness is light, education is illiteracy, and illiteracy is education. God is revealed through the area of reason. God, if there is no reason, then it's impossible for you to have mathematics. If there is no reason, it's impossible for you to have a sheet of music. It is impossible for you to develop melody without reason. All the laws of science that God has created, the law of gravity, the first and second laws of thermodynamics, the law by which the human body has been fearfully and wonderfully made. All of these things reveal to us that we worship and serve a God of reason, a God of order. Come now, let us reason together, saith the Lord. That's why the psalmist said in Psalm 14:1 again, the fool hath said in his heart, there is no God. Now let me say this as we go off the air today. There are three aspects when we deal with the matter of reason, and God has revealed himself by reason. There are negatives, there is eminence, and there is deduction. Negatively, we see that God has set certain things in motion. God has created the circle of the earth. Obviously, the earth is not flat. In the law of gravity, things do not fly upward, but they go downward. The negative aspects. Then there is eminence. We see that all of this excellent work must be ascribed to Almighty God. How could it have been created apart from the perfection and the creative work of Almighty God? And then there is deduction. And you and I, just by simple observation, we deduce that God has fixed the sky and populated it with birds, and God has created the firmament and populated it with people and animals, and God has created the waterways and populated it with fishes, and we see the beauty and the order of Almighty God in the divine work of creation. God is revealed by reason. The Lord willing, on the broadcast tomorrow, I want to come back and deal with the matter of revelation. God has revealed himself through his word. Be sure not to miss the program at that time.
Post Office Box 4, Greenville, South Carolina 29602. This is Mark